communism lasted for decades in Romania.
We were really restricted, and this restriction applied also to a lot of populism, cult of personality.
And, the full control of the Securitate apparatus, which was a political police of the Ceausescu regime.
Your own neighbors were spying on you, and you were not able to have a conversation.
I had 60 years taken by the communist regime, and I had enough.
It was a heartless regime. It was a regime of power, but only for a group of people.
My family was persecuted during communism. My grandfather even had he was imprisoned because he owned a plot of land and he had a few workers, and it was enough back then.
My grandparents are coming from a minority called the Romanians, and they were being deported.
They were putting us in factories or out in the fields as high school kids to pick up the crops, as it was.
My grandmother, 5 years old, she was living in a house in Timișoara, and the communists entered overnight, took her over with her family. They were put in plain field, without food, without anything.
Shortages of everything, and very intense nationalistic and xenophobic discourse against all the neighbors and the West.
We were encouraged to listen to national music. He tried to reduce as much as possible the involvement of foreigners in our economy. And this led to the fact that in the 80s, Romania was almost bankrupt.
My memories are the memories of a child born in town, living with the grandparents, having both parents university graduates. So it's a lot of sunshine, and besides the sunshine is the cold. If you ask me what's the feeling, it's the cold. I remember that. I could believe it. We were just praying in the streets. It was such a pleasant surprise. We never thought that we will escape. The public joy, it was something on the streets. Even in my small town, everybody was shouting, "Oh, Ceausescu is gone, and Ceausescu is dead."
Normality came back. So it was not like a cultural shock. Oh, this is what people actually expected.
Every book after the cover had a picture of Nicolae Ceausescu. And me and my brother, my younger brother, we took every book in the house, ripped off Ceausescu's picture.
And they felt the rotten of the regime, which was, increasingly insane. And they knew there would be a point of collapse.
Communism fell 35 years ago. So a lot of voters nowadays, especially the young, they didn't live during communism. They don't know the hardships of communism.
And what they have is their history and stories shared by their parents, their older relatives.
Recently, the idea spread due to a lot of social inequalities that are visible nowadays. So there are more and more young people that believe communism was a good time. They believe that people were equal. They remember parts that were partially good. For example, having houses or maybe having a job. They are hoping that the state will help them and give them different benefits, exactly the same way that was happening in communism.
This nostalgia is very much promoted politically right now by a specific segment of the political spectrum in Romania.
The paradox is that the far-right politicians use this communist nostalgia, but also the nostalgia for the interwar period, for the fascist movement from Romania.
In the history lessons in the high school, we only have a few lessons and we never discuss about the policies that were toxic to the society.
We have very deep wounds from that period, which have not yet been sealed. And also, we are plagued by the fact that there was no reconciliation with the past. We didn't have a Nuremberg of communism.
For many years, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Every time the answer was no.
Romania dragged their feet for more than a decade, passing successive legislation.
This fall, we are going to have for high school students, 12th grade, so those who are really finishing high school, a compulsory subject on the history of the communist regime.
We are happy to welcome the young ones and to explain what were the bad aspects of communism so that we make sure we will not go back to that kind of ideology again.
So right now, I think that these demons from the past, the fact that we did not slay them back then, come to haunt us in the past and will haunt us in the future if we don't do what's right now.
Qui avait d'abord une longue expérience, une longue histoire, peu importe, et tous ont dû faire